Radiant team pick.
Tiny.
10 seconds. Radiant team pick. Ukumari's.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the third series of the day here at the DPC Division 2 SA Winter Tour presented by ESB Liga Esports. My name is Crasheroni and I am once again joined by my wonderful co-caster Tim. Tim, how do you think this SF hero is right now?
I think he's a good alternative to Lina. That's the way I primarily see the hero. He has good laning presence, good mix of magical and physical damage, has a teamfight ultimate, which is really important, but I also feel like he is a lot less reliable than Lina, simply because his damage output is not as insane. Lina gets 385 attack speed, he gets 140 attack damage, and when it comes to DPS calculations, I have to say AS and attack damage, they are almost equivalent.
Yeah, and I'm not too good on the math here myself, but 300 is higher than 100, I think. Last time I checked, at least.
Pretty much, yeah. It's almost 3 times as high. So that's a big problem with Lina, and it's also a bit of a problem for bot players. While we're waiting for teams to pick their heroes, right? Bot players undervalue the effectiveness of attack speed, but from purely mathematical standpoint, and I might be mistaken in that, but I do believe every point of attack speed is as potent as every point of attack damage. And second point is that to maximize your attack damage, or to maximize your DPS, you have to have your attack speed being equal to attack damage. So if, for example, let's say you have 250 attack speed and 250 attack damage, that's technically the highest DPS for the 25 benchmark, pretty much. So Lina, she gets to play with those big crits, she gets to play with those really good items like Silver Edge or maybe even MKB, simply because she already has droves of attack speed.
I think you did a really good job at explaining the whole I think that was a really well done explanation, because I think it helps explain heroes like Sven as well, right? Like Sven is like the exact opposite of Lina. He gets all of this big beefy right click damage, and the only thing he needs to build is attack speed. You know, he's building Echo Saber, AC, Mask of Madness, things like that. Lina is not building attack speed. Lina is building hurdy big damage.
Or just survivability, because
or that
because 385 is just an insane number. It's ridiculous how high that is. The only other hero I think in the game that is comparable to Lina in terms of damage output is actually Drow Ranger, but Drow Ranger's damage is conditional. It can be turned off by just people getting on top of her, right? Lina's damage doesn't get turned off unless you stun lock her, and even that is kind of a tough ask because she has pretty high attack range as well.
Yeah, and I mean Dota's a team game, right? Like there's more than just Lina on the field for you to worry about. Yeah, Lina's just such a hard hero to deal with right now. I love Rubik right now, speaking of heroes to deal with. I think Rubik is one of the strongest supports in the meta right now.
Statistically, yes. He is one of the most contested and the most successful throughout the whole DPC. He's only rivaled by Treant Protector and Balrogs. They basically got the 2 prime supports for the meta. And Rubik, I think the understanding of the hero has risen drastically. Usually, if you remember like the legendary FY plays, it was all about stealing stuff on Rubik. But recently, because of the changes to Arcane Supremacy and how much just insane cast range it gives you, the Rubik is now the best safe support in the game, simply because he buys Glimmer Cape, and suddenly it's not the nerfed Glimmer Cape to the ground that has 450 cast range, but it's a Glimmer Cape you can use from far away from the trees, or like a Force Staff, or your own shard. Any of those items, as well as any item in the game, any neutral item as well, they are just that much more potent on Rubik simply because of the cast range.
Ooh. What do you think about playing TB in the Clockwork?
I think I'm generally fine with that. I feel like Balrogs, they lack lockdown, even though they have Screen Protector, sure. But I feel like they need another. What are they looking for? They're looking for position 3. So I think they're gunning for Mars kind of hero, maybe Centaur, something along those lines. That's what I would like to see from them. But I'm fine with TB. I think TB is one of those heroes that is just never truly bad, never truly excellent, but never truly bad.
That's fair. I think that one thing the Balrogs are gonna not have going for them is they're lacking a Greaves builder right now. You know, I mean, I guess Rubik or Tree can, but like, the fact of the matter is Death Prophet's gonna have Greaves very quickly. Balrogs won't.
She's gonna be laning against Tree and Terrorblade with Tiny on her team. Yeah, I think she should have a good enough time. There is a kill condition with Leech Seed and Nature's Grasp plus Metamorphosis play, but if she disengages from that and re-engages only after Metamorphosis wears off, I think she should be having a good time in lane, right? So I agree, and Greaves are gonna be coming out early for Ukumari, but at the same time, they need something to capitalize those Greaves on. You don't really want to bring Shadow Fiend to a fight early on, and Balrogs, they assume that it's going to be SF mid, given how they're banning Morphling, but I feel like it's going to be SF position 1, and they will pick something tempo / pushing / fighting kind of hero for the mid lane on Ukumari. At least that's what I would be like hoping to see.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember Ukumari. I'm trying to remember if Lala Troni or JP play the SF. I think Lala Troni plays the SF mid, but I think that might just be like a hero. That might just be a hero specific thing. I right, Lala Troni might just play SF, so they might just run in the safe lane on Lala Troni. But I'm not too sure here. But either way, I do agree with you. I think it is going to be a position 1 Shadow Fiend. I was just trying to think of the last time I saw these two teams, because I do remember that that Ukumari do favor this SF hero quite a bit.
And there are so many ways you can prolong this draft, right? I think you can go Bach realistically on Ukumari, just a good mix of damage, and you have ways to break coil with Clock. You have ways to break coil with Tiny Shadow Fiend, as well as Death Prophet with Shard, actually. I think Puck looks really good for the mid. They can go Void Spirit for overwhelming amount of magical burst and a way to cleanly disengage from Lashtrack. I think Void Spirit was... I want to say Eul's is kind of survivable in this one, but no, they are going the exact opposite direction.
So it is a Lala Troni Shadow Fiend. And... not too sure about like in this game.
I don't know, like, before the last 2 picks, I was just thinking in my head, which draft do I favor? And then Faceless Void comes out and like, okay, I'm already favoring Balrogs, whatever they pick. But no, they managed to surprise me, and I don't know which, which one I like, actually. I don't like either. If I'm being completely honest, I don't like either draft. I think Lycan is redundant for Balrogs. They are all inning the tempo play with Terrorblade, which is a possibility. You go for the, what is called, the Dragonlance, and you just, every time you have meta, you just come to your team and you push with meta. Lycan is helpful with that, Lishrak is helpful with that, and the counterplay is kind of hard for the side of Ukumari before Tiny gets his Blink Dagger. Shadow Fiend will want to farm a little bit longer, Faceless Void is super farm dependent as well. There isn't a lot of follow-up for the Chronosphere outside of Exorcism, so even if you get punished once, you can come back and just destroy the enemy. So in that sense, I can see how Lycan is working, but at the same time, I don't like... It's a bit eclectic, and I feel like it is punishable if it ever, if the game ever gets a little bit later. If this Void gets online, then it could be a completely different game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see with this Void... I almost said Void Spirit. Faceless Void. Very different game if it was Void Spirit. Although... I mean, no. I probably wouldn't be too safe of a Void game face or oh my god, where am I? Void Spirit game. But anyways, I digress. We are going to see a smoke out from Balrogs. No smoke out from Ukumari. They're doing it the old-fashioned way. They're walking down lanes.
He has boots on Kiri, so I think he will be able to place the ward before the enemy. There's also a cute play that is available to some heroes, I believe, where you can buy boots in your base, get wards, run to the secret shop, and still have time to sell boots before the timer runs out, so that you can buy consumables while also placing a super fast ward. But so far, nobody's been doing that. Maybe it was nerfed, I'm not sure.
Okay, so Hijack and Kiri both have Quelling Blades. And from what I know, no, you can still totally do that. I was seeing, I forget who it was, but I saw a pro player do it like yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And I was told about it by my high MMR friend yesterday too, so it must still be a thing.
It should be. I think it's a cute play. It doesn't really break anything about the game, right?
No.
So all in all, it's not really into any kind of problems. It's just fun, good old fun. And Quelling Blade on Tiny is primarily because he's playing against Treant, so they're probably try to go for some deforestation kind of engagement. You need to protect Death Prophet until she gets level 3. I want to say in this lane, maybe even level 5. You need to be super safe, super wary of this Treant Protector. He has a lot of slows for the laning stage.
Interesting. So we might see some sort of first blood potential here in the bottom lane, as both Tiny and Clockwork still in the area.
Kiri, aggressive posturing. It says he didn't skill anything yet, so he's thinking of a toss back, but I don't see that. Like, I don't see that play. I don't know. And because of that, JP top lane is suffering. But he would suffer regardless. He's Faceless Void against Lycan.
Oh, they're going to try to make a go into Shaka here. But there's the Metamorphosis pop from DCMC. Shaka dropping low. But there's really no kill potential on this tree right now. He's way too tanky, and the damage on these two supports just aren't there.
In the end, nice attempt. They do get this train pretty low, so maybe that was their intention in general. Actually, he might be in some trouble here on Shaka. Or is he?
With the leech sheet, I think he's fine. Kiri's the one. Oh, actually, no, he's in trouble with the tree. Yeah, Shaka's out. He's out of there. Top lane, they get first blood on the Rubik, surprisingly.
JP must have been super lucky with the bashes, or Rubik has to have stepped out of position. But one of those things had to happen. I don't know why he dies here. He is level 1, so no telekinesis, but still. Okay, JP is actually really blessed. Hashtag. Okay. I'm seeing, and every time he hits a crit, it's not a bash. Every time he switches target to Lycan, it's a bash. So maybe that's just pure luck.
I wish it told me under ability, like in the fight recap, I wish it told me how many times he bashed under abilities used.
Oh.
That would be a lot nicer.
I have most of the abilities turned off, just BKBs and ultimates in the fight recap, because it usually gets really super clunky.
It does get clunky. Mine's the same way, but it doesn't show you how many times. I want a clean little number, like 2 bashes or something like that. I don't know.
That would be super useful. But then maybe we would find out something about Dodos that we don't want to find out, you know?
Maybe.
There are some
it's a 12% chance time, 100% chance of the time, right? That's usually how that works.
Yeah, and the Void is one of those super unstable heroes. Actually, you're going for a double cog play. Will not get a lot of damage done. The damage is shared mostly.
That's the beauty as Lycan versus Clockwork, as it may get a little bit more other side favored later on, but in the laning stage, at least, Lycan deals with Clockwork quite well. Can deal with the cogs, help his Rubik get out of there. Just overall, a decently good hero at dealing with Clockwork in lane. Later on, though, it's going to get annoying as you're trying to run around in the cogs and all that.
Oh, yeah. But at least you get to save some teammates. but
Yep.
by maybe splitting damage. You also have Rubik against Clockwork. I really like Rubik against Clockwork. Once you get the
I do
shard,
too.
it's just so clean and easy to save your teammates. But before that, you can save them by just tossing Clockwork out, which is almost as effective. So yeah, I do feel like they do maybe have a better draft than Balrog. I'm trying to think what I like more, and the last two picks have left me completely baffled.
I think the JP Void is going to be fine here. I think they have a lot of damage into Chronosphere. Part of me would have liked it more if it was a core tiny, but nonetheless, I think it's still going to be fine.
Look at him. He hit Drakish twice, and he got no, maybe not twice, but the first two hits he goes for, and one of them is a bash, and that's a level 1 time lock. He's not even skilling. He's saving. Well, until recently he was saving 2 skill points. Now it's only 1. Once again, cogs, but not gonna lead to anything. Just annoying.
No, they're just getting farmed at this point.
It does inflate the creep stat a little bit. I think that 26 creeps on the side of Lycan isn't... it contributes cogs as well, and they don't really cost a lot.
No. Oh, bottom lane hijack. They get a kill on Shaka with a nice setup from Tiny.
That's not a fun lane. I think hijack with a skewed play where they kind of cut down the forest, he was really happy about what's happening, and he wasn't pressured in any way by the tree protector. And that's why I think that was so important, that you do get those trees down. Because of it, he's now in a position where he can dictate the tempo. Once he gets level 6, I think they can even go for some aggressive pushing, maybe even to the mid lane. Now that I think of it, it is mid lane Lesh, and Lesh doesn't really do well. He doesn't have a long range way to deal with the creeps. Even with Lightning Storm, it's not that effective.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. Never thought about that one. All right, 6-minute runes. Where's it going? Top or bottom? It's top. Oh, Lesh got some regen rune too. Very good for Balrogs. Not feeling too nice if you're Ukumari.
Oh, they want to full to 0, then go here. They might be able to do that.
Oh, the Requiem is there as well. Leshrac in some trouble. The raises. Yep, it's enough. They get it.
That's a really good kill. And usually you don't see Shadow Fiend's killing ultimate that early because it was level 2 Necromastery. Your souls are just limited, right? And it's not enough damage, not enough lockdown. But this play works out completely, and they do get a high priority kill. Slow down Lash means slowing down push and making sure that your Faceless Void gets that much more space. It's different lane, seemingly, right? But at the same time, it's just snowballing into having more time on JP, and that's pretty much the only thing that you need on Ukumari.
Yeah, the Voids, especially on like your big playmaker hero like Void Spirit. Oh my gosh, again, Faceless Void. I just see purple heroes and they're all like, I just get confused. It's just a blur of purple. Time Walk. What's Void's ulti called again? They're all the same ability. What's the difference?
His build is interesting. He has skill point saved, but I feel like with any rotation, he can go for a Chrono on Lycan and just shut down Lycan as well, a little bit at least. Sure, Turblade, I don't think shutting him down is all that prudent. He's the type of hero that just goes jungle and gets a lot out of it, regardless of whether you're pushing him in lane or not. But if Lycan falls off, or if Lash falls off, their recovery is a little bit harder.
Might see it go onto Lycan, but he is able to just... He's able to deal with cogs so easily with his wolves. He just re-summons wolves and tells them to hit cogs.
Kiri?
Bottom lane, Kiri, yeah, very low here. Just trying to walk it off. Will be able to.
There are some stacks.
That's pretty
here.
big. Yeah. DCMC's pretty happy with those stacks. It's only going to clear out one of them, though.
At this point in time, I think lane creeps just straight up give you more, and he doesn't want to lose the creeps under the tower. We'll still lose a couple of them, but I think he got the melee XP and ranged the last hit, so it's absolutely fine. He's doing well. I'm surprised that Hijack didn't go for an aggressive exorcism play, actually. I feel like there was a big enough opening, and his level 1 exorcism is low value enough so that he can just throw it whenever it is possible, just to make sure that he's forcing people to react to him.
Alright, DCMC, he saw these rotations in the bottom lane, so he's out. He's gone. He's decided to leave. Shaka alone in this bottom lane. Shaka in the trees is so safe. Kiri dropping incredibly low to the tower in the Nature's Grass. The Leech Seed won't be enough to bring him down. Very low, though. Not quite dead.
I think they're wasting a lot of time here on the side of Ukumari. If they used Exorcism, the tower would probably be gone already, or at least they force somebody to rotate in. While this is happening, this top lane Lycan, he is pushing the wave in, has his Warprine Raider helping out, such a derpy creep. But it's pretty effective in terms of damage output, and he is taking away the tower from the enemy, and it is a draft with Death Prophet, who I do believe, like, if she pressed it as soon as it was available, the Exorcism, I think it would be on like a 40-second cooldown now, and I don't see her going for a play in the next 40 seconds. So it's almost as if this ability was kind of quote-unquote wasted. Ooh, Kiri.
Oh, very close. Lalatroni was ready. Oh, haste rune now in the SF as well. Ukumari can look for an aggressive play here, if they so choose.
I think they need to do something. I understand that the late game is definitely their favorite, but there is going to be a timing where it's... Oh, okay, they're doing something top lane.
Oh, Nengo is just barely okay. And Void Spirit, he just used his Time Walk. That means Lycan's going in. Does have another Time Walk available on JP. Will use it, as Drake forced to just farm up the creep wave instead. Ukumari, they're bringing heroes in. They've got SF right on top of Nengo. Nengo dropping low, won't be able to get the kill. There's the toss onto Yor right on top of Drake. Drake should go down here, is left in the middle of nowhere. Lycan ult is almost run out as well. Lalatroni gets a nice clean kill onto the Lycan.
Oh, if it wasn't for the Live-in Armor, I think Void essentially gets a solo kill on Lesh, which would be really, really great for him. But Lesh does survive. They will get a retaliation, not a retaliation, a consolation prize in Lycan, but it's not as high value as Lesh, I want to say. So Nengo surviving, first usage of Chronosphere, not too useful. And bottom lane at the same time, Death Prophet did use Exorcism, but didn't manage to get the tower down.
That's huge. It's huge that Shaka's able to defend this solo for so long.
Is he maxing out Live-in Armor? No, he's actually not. It's a 2-2-1 build. It's just level 1 Live-in Armor, already providing so much value for his team, being able to heal those towers, making sure that they get some extra armor as well. All in all, they are holding admirably, and they're also farming really, really well on multiple heroes, especially the ones that need it. And I feel like they're going to be hitting their timings a little bit better and a little bit sooner. They're going for smoke as well.
Well, see, they're probably going to look for this Death Prophet. They might find Clockwork instead. Oh, Demon with the Time Walk stolen as well, so setup is there.
Oh, Hijack might be in some trouble.
Oh, it's definitely in some trouble here. Lift up from the Rubik. There's the stun from the Lesh to follow up. Overgrowth, Death Prophet, gonna have the Spirit Siphons, but you're not going anywhere. We'll pop the mech, and it's actually okay. This is huge, as now there's the hook shot, the Cogs push back onto the Rubik. Rubik will fall here. Ukumari get a prize. And that is Rubik.
They did force 5 people to rotate into this bottom lane, and it is being utilized by 2 heroes at the same time. Mid lane is being pressured by Terrorblade, while the top lane was pressured by Drake, and they will get a mid tower, even though they lost their Rubik. So I think backer-wise, they found a better trade, quote-unquote, because it wasn't exactly a trade of heroes, but it was a trade of a hero for an objective. But at the same time, I think if they got a clean kill on Hijack, they could have taken more.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bottom lane, Shaka is just playing with them. As Lalatroni gets a huge kill onto DCMC with the help of Kiri. Incredible.
2 quick kills
They
across
found-
the map.
Courier has been killed.
Yeah, thankfully they finally get Shaka in the bottom lane. As Drake actually just runs down SF with his ulti.
That is such a huge kill. That was not a solo. He had some help from his teammates, but the most important part is that this Lycan gets to play his game, and he, off the back of the skill, he gets 415 gold because it was dominating streak. This Overlord is gonna accelerate so fast because of this kill, and I don't see how they deal with the Ancient Creep until like minute 20, I want to say, maybe like minute 18. Before that, this Ancient Creep is going to be so huge. They will be able to take all the tier 1s if they want, or maybe go for tier 2 tower with the help of an Ancient.
They also have very good Roche possibility on the side of Balrogs with the help of Tree and Protector, as well as the Lycan that we just mentioned. Lesh helps out pretty well as well, so... Roshan, not quite in the sights, maybe another 5-10 minutes, but... You know, it's certainly in the realm of possibility for them. Soon.
They can play tempos, they can go late. Their Lycan is having a really good time. Already searching for a creep, will get rewarded with an Ancient Black Dragon. So with that, I do feel like they can go for a play, even into Chronospheres. They know that Chronosphere is available, but they also should know that Exo is not available and that Requiem is not available, because last time it was used to blow up Terrorblade. So for another 40 seconds, it's a free pickings. So something has to be done. They have to abuse those timings, especially with with Lesh Draft, who is pretty close to his Bloodstone. Actually, 200 gold away. They probably will wait for that.
Yeah, they might as well. I mean, what's another minute, you know? I guess it's another minute. But, okay, so Treant is the Greaves builder on Balrogs. He's used all that farm he got in the bottom lane to get a mech.
Usually I see Blink Daggers.
Yep.
In this one, I mean, it's gonna be... Actually, I would prefer Blink Dagger, honestly. But maybe if nobody gets to build it, I think he has to go for it. Max is just 2 value.
Oh,
Clockwork.
you're taking big damage. Will fall here, and the demon will get the kill. One more right click. It's all they need.
Now conversion on this top lane. Creep's already working on the wave. And Nengo, once he gets delivered to the tower, he can just melt it with the Diabolic Edict. If you take away the enemy outpost this early, this opens up Roshan, this opens up the enemy jungle, essentially. And it does make the game a bit claustrophobic for Ukumari, and they don't really want that. So they're going for smoke. They will try to defend this top tier 2 tower.
Is under attack.
Kiri's gonna run right into Lycan. Lycan toss back onto the Shadow Fiend, getting blown up, absolutely destroyed. Overgrowth got used by Shaka as well, and ooh, stolen toss from Demon. This could set up something a little bit later. Clockwork does have the jetpack, looking for a hook shot. There's the Black Dragon, good for blocking hooks. They're just gonna battery assault and cogs the creep though. The rest of Ukumari don't care. They're like, okay, Clockwork, you have fun with that Black Dragon. I'm gonna toss back onto Tree and Protector. This could be a good kill if they get it. They do. Shaka falls.
I have to say, Kiri is playing out of his mind. Just the general execution of toss into Requiem, it's not a trivial matter. I mean, it's not like some next level play, but it's not trivial to do that. And they time it perfectly for the first kill on Lycan. And then they use another toss back to get an extra kill. Jetpack now being stolen by Rubik. He is trying to fly away, will be fly over the cogs. And maybe over the cliff. No, not enough time for that.
Oh no, Rubik. Goodbye, my friend. Although Shaka comes in with the mech. And now Ukumari are the ones on the run. Hijack in the area, closing in. Does have exorcism. We'll see if he wants to just pop it here. Won't pop it, but here comes JP with the Chronosphere available. Shaka, yeah, free kill. Does save the Rubik though, so mission successful.
I guess, but also they will lose this tower pretty quickly. Lycan currently in the middle lane, so their timing has been kind of mitigated quite well by Ukumari. By just going for those really cool pickoffs and with Tiny prioritizing Blink Dagger. Like, he just went straight Blink, right? No...
Oh, this is huge.
Nothing. And yeah, because of that, they now get rewarded with Roshan. They will get it. I don't think there is a counterplay.
No, like, I mean, what do you do into Chrono Roche, right? Like, Drake coming in, ultied up, but Roshanda's already fallen. Lalatroni on the run, but JP does get a good chrono onto the Terrorblade. Requiem'd hookshot as well. Terrorblade falls. And now the Bloodstone Lesh doing what he can. JP just turns and fights. Will go down, but Nenyo will as well. Oh, actually, Nenyo's fine. Gets onto the high ground to safety with the overgrowth thanks to the Treant Protector. And Drake will bring down Lalatroni's SF. Hijack's still trying to fight, but the rest of his team's already on the outs. Not sure you want to be here anymore. Hijack goes down. A really good fight for Balrogs, all things considering.
So, Ukumari, they take Roche, they take Second Life on Faceless Void, they use every single ability they have, including Exorcism, and they trade in the end 3 for 2, given the Aegis, also losing the Aegis. I think it's a big win for Balrogs, because they don't really need Aegis for a little bit longer, right? They're not going to go high ground or anything like that, and preventing the enemy from having Second Life on Faceless Void, knowing now that they don't have Exo, not Chrono, nothing, I think it is finally that opening that they were looking for, and as I'm saying it, top lane is starting to get pressured in by both Lycan and Leshrac.
We are seeing an aggressive TP from the side of Ukumari. Lalatroni right out into the outposts. Your hookshot connects onto just one. I thought it was going to connect onto two. And Demon will steal the jetpack once again. Okay, just a little bit of a poke and a prod, nothing too fancy.
How do they initiate now though? Because they don't have hookshot. Yor has to just fly away. I think this tower has to fall, especially given how Terrorblade now has BKB and he is converging on his teammates, even without Metamorphosis. I think they should be taking this tower.
Oh, and Demon's looking for Yor. Does have a jetpack available, will find him. And Yor immediately blinked on by Nenyo, and Nenyo gets the kill.
Nenyo with a Blink Dagger. Really likes this aggressive play. 16 seconds to Chronosphere. I think that's when Ukumari will fight. But for now, though, they are in a bit of a lazy chase.
Ari are looking to fight right now. They're looking to bring down this Terrorblade. He does pop his BKB, so it doesn't matter. DCMC now ready to fight as the rest of Balrogs. I mean, Ukumari went for a cheeky play, but they're going to pay for it with their lives. A nice TP from Shaka is going to catch Lalatroni out here nice and early. Shaka does have no more mana for his ultimate, though, but the rest of his team on the hunt. Lalatroni, I'm not sure how you get out of this one, especially when Nengo blinks right on top of you.
That was such a quick BKB from the CMC. I think if he doesn't get it off, this fight is just over. But because he does get it off, he doesn't get feared, he doesn't eat the damage, and then they can chase. It's just impossible to fight into a full HP BKB Terrorblade that also has Thunder available. The end result is it didn't work out at all for the Ukumari. And as this fight was starting, I was starting to say, there are 15 seconds or 20 seconds to Chronosphere, and I was absolutely certain they're gonna wait for it, but they do go for this play, and ultimately it does bite them in the backside. Balrogs will have to yield, as they will not take another tier 2 tower, but I think they're happy with what happened in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they should be very happy with everything that's transpired recently. They're 3K ahead now, looking to push that up just further and further. Despite being, you know, behind on the kills, which, you know, we all know, well, maybe not all, but we know in Dota doesn't matter too much.
It matters.
Oh, JP getting Drake tossed back onto him with the mech from Shaka, though, keeping Drake alive. Now there's the BKB pop-up from JP. He couldn't chrono, but they might get Demon as a result. Oh, Demon, he steals Time Lock and he just gets out. Demon is playing out of his mind.
That was so cleanly done. He steals point blank, And because of that, he just immediately gets it and gets to get away. Also, with extra cast range, Time Walk is one of the best initiation tools in the game. So Rubik, with his Time Walk, with telekinesis available, they are on the hunt now. They know that the enemy doesn't have BKB on their Faceless Void, and that means there is a possibility of blowing him up full to 0 and preventing him from using this Chronosphere.
So they're going all in on this Lalatroni blow up here. He's going to go in Aghanims. Speaking of Lalatroni blow up, that's exactly what they're looking for. But he's going to pop a BKB and ulti right on top of this Leshrac. Will get the kill onto Lesh. Here comes Drake, pops his ulti, bashes hello. They finally get the bash. Demon won't get away. I say that as he gets away because he's just built completely different.
How
the jetpack. Never mind. Oh, the hookshot dodge, Demon! The flare, oh my god, this Rubik!
I mean, let's be real, he did bait his team into a BKB target by going on this SF. So, you know, maybe not ideal play, that's for sure. That's why I was thinking they're gonna hunt for Faceless Void, because they can blow him full to 0. They can blow a BKB target full to 0 because their heroes are just not about, you know, they're about magical damage. They can't really do that. So Demon kind of baited his team into a fight that was not necessary. A bit of a blame can be going the way of Leshrac, who missed his stun or didn't time it correctly. But all in all, Demon, some really cute plays with Time Walk. They have to be commended.
Top lane, they're looking for someone. They see Demon on the high ground. Tiny maybe gonna join them? No. Pushes them away instead. I guess Tiny does have a blink, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and it's not like you want to be stuck on a cliff with, you know, with Tiny.
No.
As Rubik, and you're actually 1400 HP, not too shabby.
Yeah, who's stuck on the cliff with who there for sure.
So Tiny, his next item is going to be 4 staff. 4k gold on the side of Balrogs, but everything is available for Ukumari. A bit hesitant to go for a play quite yet. Have BKB on Faceless Void at the ready. Have BKB on Shadowfiend at the ready as well. He has his Aghanims flying out to him, I believe. And I think it's a go time. I think they have everything to go for a really good fight. Because with Axe, it's also more control, if anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. They are going to flare out top lane, so they see where Balrogs are right now. And Ukumari are going to do a 5-man smoke.
Curie?
They got Chrono, they got Exorcism, they got everything they need.
They have JP leading the charge. Well, he has BKB and Time Walk, I guess that makes sense. You're now flying up, trying to scout something. But the move was read. They will get a glimpse of Rubik, I want to say, but definitely don't want to go for that.
Unfortunate that the smoke doesn't work out for Ukumari, because it was really the one that was going to open up the game for them.
They do,
or at least get them on that track.
They do force at least some kind of reaction, right? Get their outpost back. They don't really waste anything, and they don't lose heroes on the retreat. Actually, as I'm saying it, Kiri might. Ooh! That's one Thunderstoy.
But it might not matter. Oh, okay. Drake thought about it, decided against it.
That is a valiant
Thunderstoy.
That was. I was certain he's gonna be gone, but that Thunderstoy play was just too good. He just jumps over a cliff, makes sure that Chaka wastes his overgrowth, wastes the ultimate of Lycan as well. So many things done so well by this Kiri Tiny. But he has been a heads-up player for the team. So far, from the very beginning, his tossbacks have been paramount. And also, I like his build. I like that he just ignores everything. He just goes straight for Blink. Sometimes I like this clarity of purpose and mind in some support players.
Yeah, Kiri's definitely been an old MVP hero, and they're going to get the toss back onto DCMC, feared up as well. Can they bring down this Terrorblade before he pops his BKB? No, he can't. They might be able to get him in this Chrono, and they will. Will pop the mech, but it's not going to be enough to keep DCMC alive. Now Demon stole the time dilation, Shaka into the SF. There's a nice hook shot, connects onto the Rubik. Will get pushed into no man land as Hijack gets a double kill.
Oh, I
3
think
for 1.
I think we're
Oh,
now
and
firmly in this territory, and oh, they find Lycan.
Kiri, a beautiful toss back onto this Lycan. Drake feared up. Nowhere to go, though. Lycan falls. It's a great fight for Ukumari. This is exactly what they need to get themselves back into holding the foothold of this game.
And for a moment there, I thought there is a turnaround potential, right? Because they jumped onto this Terrorblade, but didn't have enough damage between SF and Tiny to blow him up. So he presses BKB, turns around, almost gets Thunder off, but JP was a really clutch Chronosphere. Makes sure that they get this high priority kill, and the whole team has to commit. I feel like the whole team has to commit for whenever they go on their carry. And now Ninyo, he's going forward.
Oh, but Hijack, he got some heroes tossed on him that he might not have wanted. Demon will fall, but the DP goes down as well. Ukumari now on the run.
I do believe they wanted more of the back of that, but it was just not enough. There is no Chrono, no Exorcism, and only Requiem available for Ukumari right now. I feel like they can technically go for a play, even with Terrorblade not having his Metamorphosis. Lycan has ultimate, right? There is Blink on Lashrak and everything else he needs to deal damage. They have to punish those long cooldowns. Unless they do that, they will just slowly be pushed out of this game, because this Void is getting bigger and bigger. And as we discussed during the drafting stage, that if this game goes late, Void will take over. He is primarily a magic dealing damage hero with his time lock. It's magical damage. So it's really important to understand that he has answers to Terrorblade, especially with the itemization into Mjolnir and MKB, both magic procs. He will be able to deal with Terrorblade despite him having like 40 armor on this hero.
I think that's a very good point. You know, Void is a problem right now, and he's going to continue to be a problem, and I'm not too sure what Balrogs can really do about it other than maybe get a pick off here, but he's running in to join his team, so a pick off not very possible, but they're going to try for it anyways. Void going to try to burst him down, but he just jumps right in, does have a Chrono available. Will not use it, but does have it now for that second life. BKB done on the Lesh as well. He can't get stunned and blown up. That'll be very dangerous if he does. Toss back into his team to safety, but there's the Chrono. Connects onto 2 supports. Bye-bye Tree and bye-bye Rubik. Just destroy the 2 supports on the side of Balrogs. Now Ukumari smoke up. See if they can catch anything else here.
I think Chrono for 2 supports is something Balrogs are not necessarily happy, but they're content with that. I think they're okay with what just happened. I think they can go for a play even now, because that was a fight without Metamorphosis, without Terrorblade being able to truly join it, right? And they only lose 2 supports. They find maybe something.
Oh, they catch the Terrorblade, but DCMC gets his BKB again. It's not fast enough. And now a buyback from Shaka. They are going to be able to bring down this Lycan with the Exorcism. SF will be the first one to fall, and now Hijack in a little bit of no man's land here. Has popped the Exorcism, but will fall nonetheless. And they lose the Clockwork, and Tiny somehow gets himself out of there. Kiri out to safety.
I think the reason he got out was because nobody really prioritized him. But they can still fight on Balrogs, right? Whenever the enemy doesn't have their ultimates, be it Exorcism, Requiem, or, well, basically, if they use 2 out of 3, you go and fight. You just have to. You absolutely have to, because if you do not punish those long cooldowns, you're slowly gonna get outclassed and outcarried. But DCMC, look at his damage output. He's queuing up Satanic. I feel like maybe this game does call a little bit for a Blink Aghanims build, just to have some extra ways to not necessarily deal damage, but create conditions for dealing damage. But Satanic is also a possibility, because the damage output on the side of the enemy is kind of limited for now.
Oh, he's queued up a Daedalus now instead, it looks like. Just wants more damage on the TB, it looks like.
I mean, a couple of lucky crits is... Like, in this game, against the high burst heal, quote-unquote, heroes, like Faceless Void, I think it does make sense, because it's not... Usually, it's a quantity item, right? The Daedalus. But in this game, it can be quality if you get to kill this Faceless Void over the duration of a stun. So in that sense, I think it's okay.
SF, I hate this build. Like, I mean, I love it. It's a good build, right? Like, I get it, but like all my Dota views are based around me being a support player, and this hurts me. Like, like literally, it hurts dealing with Arcane Blink SF. How do you deal with that? Right? Like, he just blinks in and blows up a hero.
It is 0.75 cast point, if I'm not mistaken. I think it goes down to that. So there are ways to deal with that, but it's really hard. It's less than a second to react. And I agree with you. I absolutely hate this build. I think it's a bit, once he gets to this, what is it called, the refresher territory, it just becomes stupid. He can essentially be a tight hunter, but with damage, a lot of damage. And
yeah,
that's when it gets ridiculous. Before that, I think it's fine. He also gets scouted out.
Stolen Flare. Oh, hook won't connect. Clockwork, might be in some trouble here. Yep. Will go down, but there's the toss back onto the Rubik. There's the Requiem. And Demon goes down. But that's not really the hero you want from Ukumari.
Yeah, I think they kind of wanted more. They definitely wanted a lot more here.
Yeah, like, cool, you got the Rubik, but they need something a lot more. They're going to have Void bottle up this DD rune, which is nice. And we'll see if they want to do something with Chrono. Requiem will be up soon enough anyways.
Ooh, speaking of how to deal with this SF, look at Lycan. If he gets vision on SF or Void and they don't press BKB in time, I think there is a play here to be done with his Hex.
Yeah, he's going Hex Basher, which I absolutely love. Oh, and they see TB.
Oh.
They're just gonna start things off with the Chronosphere. There's one raise and the second. Toss up, and JP gets the kill onto DCMC. Very clean kill on the Terrorblade. Shaka will fall as well.
All in all, if Balrogs, they're not happy about it, don't get me wrong. But 70 seconds on TB and 116 seconds on Chronosphere. I think they will have a window of about 40 seconds, right? That they can really utilize. And they're not losing a lot of the back of the skill of those two kills. They only lose tier 1. So it's also fine. Exorcism is not going to be available for a while. Chronosphere not going to be available for a while. So what do? They group up. They have to group up. I feel like they almost have to start grouping up already, even though the Terrorblade is dead. Maybe take away the enemy outpost, maybe do something like that so the TB can TP in and immediately start working on something. Otherwise, Ukumari, they will stay happy with what's happening.
Oh, Rocket Flare won't quite connect on the Lash. But pretty happy, I think, Ukumari. They're getting some tier 1 towers off the map, which they desperately needed to to get rid of.
Top lane being pushed in. They're not taking away the outpost. That's what something I'm imagine, like, if they push in this wave, right? At this point, this should have been taken away, and they could have gone for a trade. And I think they push much faster than the enemy, especially considering that SF didn't go for the level 15 talent.
Oh my god, Clockwork just to the creeps, and the Rubik will fall. The Stolen Crypt Swarm. Here comes JP and the rest of Ukumari, but I mean, the emotional damage has already been done. They lose Clockwork to a creep and a Rubik.
Clockwork will have Aghanim's in the next fight, so that's a pretty huge difference maker. Lycan is no longer a problem. You actually become a quote-unquote counter to Lycan.
Death Prophet Jeep to start up, and Death Prophet just melts.
5 seconds to Chrono Zone, so there is a play for Ukumari. They can Chrono into Requiem or something like that, and I think it would be a possibility for them to take a fight, even though they just lost their DPs. They will wait for Clockwork, wait for maybe an opening on Tiny, and then go in.
Oh, they get the Chrono, but they can't quite tell what the real one is. They do catch him. Here comes the ulti from, and the refresher from the SF. A triple kill on the SF with just ultimates. They blow 3 heroes up, and there's a 4th. Lalatroni tells them to fear his presence. And Ukumari are now just going to walk this one down mid lane.
That's exactly the problem. I've started talking about it previously, right? This was the correct play. You take away this outpost, you push in, and you don't kill just the clockwork. You force the enemy to react to you, and you take a fight while the chronosphere is on cooldown. You had 40-second window, and they didn't use this window. And currently, JP, he just casually goes in with his time walk, sets up on a single hero. He doesn't even need anyone else. And because there is a follow-up, really strong follow-up in the form of Shadow Fiend and his Requiem, the fight becomes trivial. They fought without Exorcism, they fought without their TP, and I think Clockwork didn't even do much in this fight. It was pretty much just 2 cores blowing up the whole team.
Yep, it was. Yeah, it was really just it was the Lalatroni show for sure.
Radiant's top tower is
They are going to have respawns on the side of Balrogs that Ukumari are going to respect. But the big man is in the pit, and that's a refresher shard for somebody.
Okay, 60 seconds. They once again have a 50-second window, but this time around they don't have Metamorphosis, so it's not exactly a window. Yeah, this is getting into a territory where it's going to be really, really hard for Balrogs to play. They had a chance. They kind of were a little bit too hesitant, a little bit too disciplined, I want to say. I mean, usually it's a good thing, discipline, but sometimes you need to be chaotic good as opposed to lawful good. So JP has free reign of this map. In 30 seconds, I think he's just gonna go and solo chronosphere somebody and kills them.
I wonder if that hero is going to be the Lesh next time. Although, I feel like they just blow up the Lesh. With, oh, speaking of blowing up, they blow up Shaka. They find him with that Tinker Ward. Which, might I add, some of my favorite wards in the game, these high ground wards that they added. Oh, and they find the Rubik. Immediate sheep stick up onto Yor. Yor goes down. Chronosphere connects onto 3. They get everyone but the Terrorblade. But it doesn't matter. There's one ulti from the SF, and he's going to just absolutely destroy them. Terrorblade, speaking of destroying, is going to try to do some of that of his own. Lalatroni with the Aeon Disc tries to get out, not able to. The toss up onto DCMC onto the high ground. I'm not sure that's where you want to put this Terrorblade, though, as he could just kind of right-click around as they disengage away from him, but he's right on top of Hijack. Hijack dropping low. They do still have the Refresher Shard on Void. They could technically chrono this Terrorblade if things get too crazy. Shaka comes in, Void dropping very low. There's the Aegis down. Terrorblade looking for more. Tiny looking for something as well. They get the Terrorblade toss back. TB might be in some trouble here. They have the Refresher Shard if they want to use it. Aeon Disc pops onto the Death Prophet, and I don't think Terrorblade's going to be able to fight through this one much more. Hijack gets the kill. Did waste a lot of time, though.
Yeah, all things considered, this fight wasn't that terrible for the side of Balrog. It was a triple Chronosphere into Requiem, and they still managed to, you know, make it look competitive somewhat.
They get the toss back onto Rubik. And should be a nice, easy kill here onto Demon. Yep, JP gets it.
I mean, at this point, this game is probably gonna go the way of Ukumari. 240 gold actually for buyback on TB. Might not even need to use it because Exorcism. I don't know whether it's gonna be commit. I think they have to commit the Exorcism, just go push. Maybe just bait enemies into using their buybacks. Yeah, they're gonna go.
Yeah, well, they got to see if this TB has buyback or not. You know, it's a high priority buyback because if they get it, they leave, and they just win the game after they kill TB again with Chrono, or they take a lane and a half of racks. It's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Actually, they're just gonna get the lane. They're not gonna get the half.
Actually, they might not even take that. Because there is a Blink Hex play by Lash, and I think it's being respected right now by Ukumari.
Oh, tack pause!
Lash is here. Okay, why? I mean, maybe he doesn't want to engage. Like, it's not like this lane really matters. 42 minutes into the game, this lane that is the closest to Roshan, you just outpush it naturally, yada yada. I think it's fine if they lose it. No, don't commit, just wait for your turret blade, and you'll be fine. So I guess that's a play. So he wants to have an extra item in the next fight. It's gonna be Ion Disc against Faceless Void. I guess it does make a lot of sense. Not I guess. I know it makes a lot of sense. I just feel like maybe they could try for something cheeky. I would love for them to try for something cheeky.
I think it's for the SF because Lycan's building one as well.
It's just generally like for not to be blown up, right? It's an item that was introduced as a game. Just ooh, speaking of blowing up,
Rubik, they catch him. Yeah, they're gonna blow that Rubik up very quickly. Lalatroni gets a nice quick kill on the demon. Oh, and the fear on the ancient creep as well, and that creep goes down. 250 gold for JP. Might as well just got another support kill.
They keep themselves here. They don't have Requiem, but they do have
double
Chronosphere.
chrono.
Yeah.
And they do have at least one Requiem. They do have the refresher possibility. Here we go, Balrogs. Let's see what they can do here. They're going to try to catch the Void, but instead it's Tiny who catches them all, but a Sheep Stick on the Void. He tried to get a Chrono off. He can't, and he goes down 100 seconds. No faces Void. Hex onto Lalatroni as well. Can they get the SFA on this pops? Right now, his team is stuck in the cogs, though. Oh, my God. I can't believe SF got out of there.
I thought he missed the stun, but then I realized it was just BKB.
It was a BKB, yeah.
Because for a second, it looked like a massive misplay. But that was a really good play. I don't know who has the quickest fingers on the Wild West, but that was just, I don't know, whoever pressed the Hex. Because Faceless Void was out of vision. It wasn't a precast. Somebody was just really, really fast. He was jumping from here, I believe, and there was no vision in the area at the time. So whoever pressed Hex on Faceless Void is my MVP for this fight for sure, and it seems it was either Lycan or Lesh. Because
I think what happened was Lesh got tossed back into the Void, and I think sheeped the Void on his way up.
So you think it was a bit of a misplay here by Tiny, or
maybe?
The end result, though, is that they're going high ground now on Balrogs. Will be repelled by just the glyph, but still, they are not out of the game, and 10k gold lead doesn't matter all that much for the side of Ukumari. They're still losing high priority kills.
Yeah, Balrogs, I mean, they should be pretty happy about that still. They might be able to get this tier 3 with illusions and creeps eventually, right? It's super duper low. There is no Treant Protector on the Dire side to deal with that, so yeah, I'm just gonna keep running. I like this. They just keep running illusions up onto this high ground. You might as well. We are seeing Ukumari make a go out. Shaka will catch the Death Prophet. Dire Scan won't connect onto anyone. JP getting mass pinged here. They're going to try to make a go on him. There's the Lincoln's pop. JP in some trouble, dropping low the Void. They get him. 100 seconds. No faceless Void. Overgrowth for good measure as well. And now Clockwork Sheep sticked up, brought down where the creeps, the zoo of Lycan.
That is so clean by them, by Balrogs. They just find the pickoff with the usage of their Hex. Oh, buyback.
Double buyback, and here comes the SF as well. Pops one ulti, has another Requiem available. Doesn't want to use it until this BKB Terrorblade is down. Ooh. Oh, the Chrono, a big whiff, but it might not matter. They're going to blow up this Terrorblade anyways. DP will get sheeped up. There's the Chronosphere. The second Chronosphere catches the Lesh. Can they blow him up? They certainly can. Terrorblade bought back for this. Not sure this is where you want to be as DCMC immediately trying to get out of the area.
They didn't anticipate the second chrono, but the first one was purely decorative. But I think it was a zoning chrono, right? Like, let's call it a zoning chrono.
Yeah, it was a Zonosphere.
Zonosphere, exactly. And even though it was kind of derpy, it still prevented the Balrogs team from helping their own Terrorblade. He got isolated, and as an end result, he did get killed once his BKB wore off. So all in all, even though the chrono was swift, I think it's fine. And there was a bit of a panic moment there. They do have buybacks on Balrogs, but they won't have Medum. At the same time, the enemy doesn't have any of their ultimates. They don't have Exo, they don't have chrono.
Demon tossed back so far on this Rubik. Goodbye. Hook shot won't quite connect. That could have been dangerous. He could have got it right into the fountain there.
Radiant's middle barracks has
I think he's fine as long as he creates space for his team to hit
Yeah.
buildings. Like, even Curie is contributing with his tree grab. And the second lane of Rax will be gone. 2 minutes and 30 seconds until Roshan, but they don't know about it. They know that it can respawn, but they will concentrate on this bottom area of the map, where the last lane of Rax stands. Timeless Relic 4, Shadow Fiend. This is just not fair.
Yeah, right?
I mean,
Oh, man.
I think it has to go to him, right? Extra 15% debuff amplification with whatever you get from what is it called? The Arcane Bling. So you basically fear people for forever. It just keeps them feared.
Octarine core now as well in this SF. He's got everything he needs to be a true caster. Just like us. Alright, Lycan, his next item is a nullifier.
I like it. It deals with a problematic, what is it called, Aeon Disc on Hijack as well as Ghost Scepter. I think it's somewhat helpful against Shadow Fiend. I'm not sure whether Arcane Blink buff is dispellable, but if it is, at least you're not eating like 7 seconds of fear, you're only eating like 5 seconds of fear, which is which is a big difference. It can make quite a bit of a difference.
Slightly more manageable, yeah.
So all in all, I do like it. And yeah, the Timeless Relic is gonna go the way of Shadow Fiend. I still will insist that Terrorblade needed a blink and Aghanims in this game. At least it feels like. Because then he gets to be Shadow Fiend once in a while as well, right? Basically the same concept. You jump in, you fear people, and then you hit people. And Control, in this game, I don't think they run into damage problems. They have Lycan in the position 3, they have Leshrac. The only condition they need to create is just enough lockdown to kill priority targets. They have enough lockdown for Fizzle's Void. They've shown us that repeatedly with their Yules, but they need to manage 2 targets, not just one.
are under attack.
Yeah, I mean this... I don't even, like... That's the thing about this dumb SF build. Other than Aeon Disc, what do you do? Right, like... He's got a Trickster's Cloak as well as the Timeless Relic, so he can be extra sneaky.
Maybe Saint Kaya is helpful. I don't know. Usually he wants to blink on top of you, so maybe you can even go for something like an Abyssal Blade. Oh, they will toss back.
Oh, speaking of, blinking on top of you, Tiny catches one in the form of Treant Protector. Will instantly buy back. And Ukumari look to overtake the outpost. They won't be able to, but they get the Chrono onto the Terror Blade, trying to blow him up, but they're not quite able to. He's popped the Refresher Orb as well. He's going to keep going, but he doesn't have a Satanic available. Does get the Sunder off. Here comes the SF, though. One ulti is all he needs. Doesn't quite get the other one off. There's the Aeon Disc. Void dropping low. Can they kill the Void? They can. That's 120 seconds, no Void. SF down for 100 seconds, too. Ukumari, it looked like they were taking such a good fight, but maybe they got a little bit over-aggressive with that Shrine play. And now Lestrak tossed right back into Death Prophet, buyback onto the Shadow Fiend. No creeps right now, as Clockwork is doing a pretty good job of clearing that out.
DCMC was next level plays. I think he had a backpack refresher or something, because I didn't even see that. And something tells me Ukumari they didn't see that refresher either. So what that meant for the fight is that he gets to double BKB. And because of the double BKB, once they hard commit on DCMC, not only does he get the second round of Aeon Disc to just survive for a little bit longer, right after that he gets to use his BKB for the second time, and that means he doesn't care about this magical damage SF, and that means he has to turn around and kill people. Something that's happening to Kiri. Kiri will be forced off to his own base, but, you know, buildings don't run.
Buildings don't run. Very true. Truer words have never been spoken. Buildings don't run. They're going to toss up the TB Illusion, but that's not going to be enough. They catch the SF in the back line. Sheep sicked up. And this looks to be the death of SF. Oh, does get his BKB off at the last second, but it doesn't matter as your Ancient is falling. At the end of the day, defense of the Ancient is the game. And if you're not doing that, you're not playing to win, baby.
Look at the fear duration. He was just running. It doesn't matter.
For so long. It doesn't matter in the end, unfortunately, as GG gets called by Kiri. But what a volatile game.
I absolutely love it. That's what I came here for. That was absolutely brilliant. I have to say, I think Balrogs played out of their mind when it comes to their ability to jump in, get a stun off, and do all those really cool things, just to make sure that they have enough lockdown on those quite elusive targets in Faceless Void, and somewhat survivable in Death's Prophet. But I also feel like it was a bit necessary because of their draft. I kind of harped on this Lycan a little bit in the beginning, and ultimately Lycan had to go for this Sights of Ice just to provide some extra lockdown, and it could have been just any kind of regular hero that has a stun. that this game would be a little bit easier. But all in all, what are your thoughts on that?
I think the Balrogs played a quite consistent game of Dota. Ukumari had not a lot of win possibilities. I think Balrogs, didn't give them too many shots of winning this game. There was a quick part where, the TB didn't have buyback, and things were looking maybe a little shaky if they got another kill off on the TB immediately, but, that didn't happen, so the game kept going on, things kept happening, and this TB became kind of too big to deal with, and DCMC made some clutch saves on himself with his refresher Aeon disc.
Yeah, the last fight was just amazing.
I think Ukumari are going to go back to the drawing board on this one because I think that Aeon disc really screwed up their draft. They're like, oh, we can't chrono them now, and we can't SF ult them. What are we going to do?
And whether they will be able to adjust or whether they will try and play the same draft but maybe slightly differently, we're gonna know in just about 5 minutes, so don't go too far away. After a quick break, we're gonna be back with you guys.